I were to understand you, you feel agriculture is not very attractive for an entrepreneur to take on. So,
In that
you,
scenario, how can we meet the demand for the food and kind of
so
like...
in your own question, I think you have answered to some extent that there are certain challenges which you have identified across, and you need those small little incremental, you know, technologies which could probably bring in. Now, how do we do that? Yes, I totally agree. Those challenges are there. So my answer to you is one, I particularly feel technology has certain answers to it, but in particular, digital-based agriculture, which is, in fact, I missed out when I was talking, the digi-based innovations which are happening for those small increase in productivity and production which you were airing. And then, of course, I now would like one major thing to come out of this session is agriculture word has probably got to be transformed into agri-food systems. If that comes in, we answer all these issues which are coming. Production and productivity have always been the mainstay for agriculture. Low production and productivity, and always the challenge for us.
That's the major part, actually.
Yes. But now can we look at modern technologies which could give some appeasement to these challenges? I'm not saying an answer, I'm saying to reduce those. So you have a lot of technologies which are now focusing on precision, bringing precision, bringing predictability, all blending in. So you diagnose something and try and offer an answer with prediction, with more precision. Those are the tools available in other sectors. Like, for example, a simple example, blockchain. One of your main problems in agriculture is probably authenticity and traceability as we go across the AVC to the markets. Blockchain is a very small way of answering this, and it's not very expensive. It's an innovation by itself. So you have a lot of people who are actually using these for traceability of all food, including organically grown food.
So it comes another thing.
Please don't. Let's not have a back
we
and
can
forth
take it
question.
one-to-one.
You can discuss it at one-to-one level.
Yeah.
I will ask.
But I think before we forget, when we say digital for BIMSTEC, the data sharing policies and data is important for all these innovations. This is an opportune time to develop data sharing policies and understanding what type of data sets are needed to, for all the members to collaborate.
Yeah, I think if I heard correctly, it's about organic farming. Okay. Yeah, I think the government wants to promote organic farming in Nepal, but nothing much has changed in that sector, because the chemical fertilizer has infiltrated almost every region. And we wanted to promote this Himalayan superfood. Actually, Dr. Devendra Gausan, he is here, he's speaking in the next session. It's by default, when you go to an altitude of around 2,900 meter and above, there's this default organic, situation there, and the very high value products are produced there. But the problem is with the scale, how much you can really produce. Otherwise, nutritionally, even the beans that if you compare the beans produced at that level compared to at the around 1,000 meter and 1,400 meter, the nutrition level, there's a huge difference in that. So that's kind of government policy to promote organic farming, but somehow that is not happening. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll take just one more question. Yes, the gentleman here. You can interact on the tea break.
Ma'am, myself, Dr. Mausam. I am from Punjab Agriculture University. So my question is related to the challenges what we face in regional agriculture trade, that we have one side we have signed as India Sri Lanka FTA and other FTAs, and but then we are seeing the violations of rules of origin, and we are importing. So there are violations of rules of origin, and we are importing through no, which is not showing actual production of that Sri Lanka or some other ASEAN countries. They are importing, they are exporting to India, and we are suffering of that. Our domestic producers are getting affected. So how that challenges can be taken care when we are promoting the regional growth in this region? And
I'm not sure I got your question, but Dr. Mohanty, would you like to have some attempt over it?
If it is a question of violation, I think that can be tapped. For example, at one point of time when we had got difficulties with Sri Lanka in terms of Banaspati and copper, then immediately we try to do it through renegotiating with the Sri Lankan government. But this is not a major issues, and we have got always the mechanism of revisiting the agreement from time to time. That can be handled. That is not a major problem.
So we had a very interesting session. Thank you very much to all my eloquent speakers. A huge round of applause for them. And just one last word. There is an action plan which is there, a 17-point action plan by BIMSTEC. And being on both sides of the table, I don't know whether it's very diplomatic to say this. I have seen that what happens is when we draw action plans, whenever we are close to any kind of a ministerial meeting, we are under pressure to have something, to deliver something. And then we conveniently forget that action plan for the rest of the year. And when, and this is, I'm talking from my personal experience, I'm not just talking about what I have read at places. And then when we come to the next ministerial meeting where we have to give an action taken, then we send out mails here and there asking that, well, what has happened on that action taken? And we get few lines here from certain places that, and then we just try to put it together in the name of the action taken on the action plan. So I hope this doesn't happen. This is a very vibrant forum. And I'm so happy that RIS and IFPRI, these two organizations, they are taking lead in this. So I'm sure they will, actually there will be a truly actionable action plan which will emerge out of it, and some action will be taken. And it will not be just on papers, but it is, sometimes I understand it's very difficult for the researchers to make the policymakers understand that what is actually has to be done. That challenge is there, but with RIS and IFPRI, this is something which is very much manageable. So thank you very much, and we have a tea break now. Is it, young lady?
Just,
okay.
First of all, thank you, ma'am, for steering the session well. I would now like to request you to please give a token of appreciation to our respective panelists. So I think you can give it to Dr. Kalpana first. We can go like order-wise. So you can just.
Yeah, I think it's a GI. Is it?
Yes, maybe. Dr. Devesh Roy. Dr. Manoj. Dr. Gauchan. I'd like to request Professor Mohanty to please give a token of appreciation to our chair.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you to all the panelists. Without any delay, we now proceed for a brief tea break for another 10 minutes, and then we'll reassemble for the next session.